To start. There it goes. Hi, everybody. I'm building a wall of my flashcards here. I'm trying to cover up the little camera so it blocks the little green. Let's see, is that better? Hopefully. If I get rid of the green in my eyes. Today's January 7th, 2018. I've already forgotten what the day is. It was one day later than yesterday, so add a day and we'll figure it out. And it's kind of late at night. It's 10 o'clock, which is pretty late for me. 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, had something happen today that was kind of unexpected that played itself out, and I just wanted to record it. I had the opportunity today to play D&D, a new D&D game, and it was a group of us, and one of them was Donald, who's my friend from another D&D group, and but it was interesting. I was being sneaky. I'll come clean with you. I was being sneaky, somewhat. I wanted to be called my middle name, which is Karen. Okay, Robin Karen Parks, Robin K. Parks. Since I changed my name in the 90s, I never really have gone by my middle name. And when I went full time, I still kept with Robin. So I kind of wanted to be called Karen for a while and try that on, okay? See how the name was. And so I deliberately set up my email account to have mine Karen first, Karen Parks, etc., etc. And then when I introduced myself to these new people I've never met before, I introduced myself as Karen. And again, I will answer to Robin. There's no, I'm not trying to fool the world here. But with the exception of Donald, I mean, that's all they knew me as Karen, and it was just kind of neat. And here's where I was being sneaky, okay? Is I made my character's name in D&D Karen too. So before the game conversation, but during the game conversation, character to character in Dungeons and Dragons, a role-playing game, I was Karen. Sister Karen, actually. I'm a cleric of Moradin. Yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to record a little bit. It was kind of magical in a way, just to be again in a new and again Donald was there, but in a new situation with new people who didn't know me, at all, and from before, but also whatever, and I kind of, I didn't know what to expect, and unfortunately, I admittedly, I think I am kind of on a husband hunt, for lack of a better word. And the DM looked pretty single to me, but of course tonight I realized he had a wedding band on. But I don't know if that's something that women do. Kind of like how women, our eyes are drawn to shoes. Excuse me. Yes, I farted again. Um, Shoes, top, breasts. You know what I mean? It's a different comparison or whatnot. But I've noticed that usually if I see a guy, I look to see if he's married or not. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing, but I was kind of like, oh damn, he's married. Or maybe it was just a decorative ring. I don't know. But so I was a little bummed at that, but definitely enthralled by, being called Karen was pretty cool. And we'll have to see how that goes. I might keep that up and see how it is. And I think I made a video about that before, that I chose Robin as a name because it was neutral. It could be a man or a woman. And so if you have a name that's definitely feminine, there's no question, So that's that. And then the other thing, which doesn't, I think, necessarily have to deal with being trans, but um, I made mention a couple days ago that um, I'm having a hard time crying. I've always had a hard time. Oh, now I'm gonna cry because I can't cry. Oh, that's stupid. Um, but I asked my endo about it, and she said, "Well, yes, your estrogen is a little low, okay, from your blood panel, and that's something we can deal with." She said, "But you're also on a mood blocker, and so that mood blocker for being treated for anxiety, a whole other thing. I'm on Zoloft. That takes the edge off, extremes, and so where normally you would be happy." Or sad, it takes those, the crests off and kind of makes it flat. I'm gonna fart again. Oh, that was a good one. Um, Beans, I'm telling you. Um, so that's kind of what I've been dealing with and so anyway, I go and I see my counselor next week on it, and I was going to ask my therapist or the psychologist who's been prescribing these drugs, the Zoloft, if I can cut back the dose. And because I'm an idiot, I went ahead and cut back my dose, because I wanted to experience it. And I realized a drug like Zoloft takes a while to get in your system. And so I think it was more psychosomatic that I cut it back and then I can feel more emotions. But I've noticed that since Friday, I have had this. My video from yesterday, I was able to cry, which I really felt really good about. But I'm developing somewhat of a, I'm not going to say a negative attitude towards my work, but somewhat of an unhappiness, which I've not felt in a long time. And, I don't want to jeopardize. Here's my fear, is that I'm going to jeopardize having surgery. I go next week for my second consult. I don't want to do anything that's going to screw up my job. I don't want to do anything that's going to mess up my performance, and therefore I lose my job, and then I'm not going to be able to have surgery. And maybe I'm thinking too much about it, but that's my situation, and I don't want to lose my job. You don't want to jeopardize one thing when you're so close to achieving something else. And with my job, I've banked up 7 weeks of paid vacation time, because if I have the surgery, I'm going to have to use that time, use my vacation time as I recover, and that way I still maintain my income, okay? Otherwise, I'd be using short-term disability, which I only get paid 2/3 of my paycheck. So I've thought this through a little bit. Amazing, I know, and it hurt to think. But I've banked up 7 weeks of time, and probably assuming that I go see the surgeon next week, and she says, okay, we'll add you to the schedule in 3 months or 6 months time. By the time that surgery comes around, I definitely will have 8, if not 9 weeks of time. I think 10 weeks is the maximum I can bank, but so I will get paid for that time. So again, I don't want to jeopardize it. And I was thinking tonight, I'm like, if you have the surgery, you're going to be off work for 5 or 6 weeks, So it makes little sense to rock the boat, as it were, if assuming that this wasn't a mood thing, if I wasn't happy or whatnot, can I hold out for 3 months and then I'll be off work for 5 or 6 weeks, and then when I come back, if I still feel that way, then I can look for another job or talk to my boss or whatnot. But I don't know. I think before transitioning, I was so afraid of standing up for myself and addressing wrongs or whatnot, because I didn't want to make waves, and I never gave myself that. I never valued my own opinion. I always thought I was wrong, and I let other people walk all over me. And now it's a little different, being a little more, get that little more feminine take on things, and but like I said, I don't want to screw anything up. So that's really about it. I'm a little drained. I exercised a little longer today. I really want to lose these last 5 pounds, and so I've exercised and I've eaten a lot of vegetables, and I'm just, maybe I just need to call it a night, go to bed, and hopefully tomorrow will be a different day. But anyway, so that's kind of an update. Good news on, like I said, being Karen, being myself, and it took me by surprise, because at one point I got asked a question and I almost ignored it because it wasn't Robin, it was Karen, and whatnot. So I'm a little bit on cloud nine right now. I'm kind of going, oh, magical, call me by my name. So, all right, my friends, I think I am going to go to bed. I think I'm going to call it a night and get a good night's sleep. So I hope everyone is doing wonderful. I'm going to take off my little tower here, so you might see I'm teaching myself German, by the way. That's what these cards are for. It's one way I've kept my sanity. Got you fooled. Because I was so upset about having to lose so much weight, and my mind wasn't occupied enough. I threw myself at learning a foreign language that I didn't know before, and that really has kept my mind occupied. In the same way that I am going to start a D&D game up a couple weeks from now, and planning the D&D game has also occupied my mind, because otherwise I'd be sitting here thinking about next week every single day. And of course now I'm going to think about it tonight. What's going to happen, and what will I do if I go up there, and now I have to lose more weight. And we'll burn that bridge, I guess. We'll tackle that when we get to it. But whew, my body is tired. Maybe some hormonal changes are coming. I don't know. All right, my friends, good luck to you. And came across a new person this week who's kind of cool, and a new trans woman, and props to her. As I've said before, and I'm not the first to say it. Sorry, I'm talking to my coffee cup. The people change, but the problems stay the same. New person comes along, and they're just getting into this tip of the iceberg, and you're so excited because I can remember for myself, and generally you can remember being able to be your authentic self. It's just wonderful. So I wish good luck to them, and I wish good luck to you. So on that note, good night and pleasant dreams and good luck. All right, bye-bye.